Namaskaram. It is indeed really pleasure for me to be here for this festival of literature organized by Mathrubhumi. I am not a man of letters. Never do I write anything. But certainly I try to read some books. I do not know how far I am successful in that. But the very literature itself has to be a guiding force of our society in coming years. That is what I always feel. And this particular notion has brought me to this particular event. I congratulate Mathrubhumi for this organizing such an event, a wonderful event. I am sharing the dais with my friends, Shri M.V. Shreyas Kumar, Shri T. Padmanabhan, a well-known story writer. Even at this age, he writes the stories which are very much welcomed by everybody. Miss Ursula Unek, a Polish poet and writer. Shri P.V. Chandran, Shri P.V. Nidish, Miss Maurya, and all here who are present. Priya Sahodari, Sahodaran Mare, Namaskaram. As I said, it is my privilege to be here. Many a times these customary words are used by everybody. At the beginning of the lecture or the speech, we always say, I am very much honored to be in your function, in event, and I am always pleased and that. But today's function really pleases me because such events give us what the exactly thought process is going in our society and what we need to do for coming years, for the future. I will call this particular letter of festival of letters, I will call this a manthan, a churning of minds and thoughts. I was told that there are many venues where such events are going to happen at the same time. About more than 500 speakers will be guiding us, sharing their experiences, their thoughts. And all these are to be put together. This is exactly what our society thinks. Mathrubhumi has completed more than 100 years, to be precise 102 years. And after these 100 years of very existence, Mathrubhumi has always fought for all sorts of freedom. Freedom from foreigners, freedom of speech, everything. As somebody was mentioning, I too was a part of the movement for freedom of speech to reinstate democracy in this country. That was a black spot in our democratic process. We never think that it should happen again. But Mathrubhumi played its role in that matter, in that freedom, in that struggle. And still they are doing it. Our society, our culture has always been welcoming thoughts from all directions. All directions. Rigveda has mentioned this thousands of years back, that we are a society, Ano Bhadra Vishwanath. From every corner, we are welcoming the thoughts. We don't restrict any thought to come to us. We take it, we discuss that, we debate, We churn, manthan, and then we decide whether to accept it or not. That is how India has been doing. For many years, India has never rejected any foreigners also here. We have been very great-hearted to welcome all of them because we believed Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Whole globe itself is a parivar, is a kutumba, a family. One family. Kutumba is one family. That is what we have been, how we have been cultured, we have been nurtured, and that is what we have been taught all these years. So how do we restrain somebody from saying anything? But sometimes it happens, and that was the period in the year 1975. But we came out of it. That thought of Rigveda is very well quoted by one noted French philosopher, Voltaire. What Voltaire has said must be remembered always. He says, I may not agree with you that everything that you say. I may not agree that everything you say, but I would rather die in defending your right to say it. That is exactly what Mathrubhumi stands for. We may not agree with everything that you say, but you have a right to say that. Nowadays, all newspapers particularly, I will not go to the electronic media and all that, but newspapers, they bring out the news, and unfortunately they also say give the views also. There is a separate page for that. Why news should carry views? News has to be a news, factual news. But we are bound to, we want to say something of ours in that news. It has to be drafted in that fashion that it will give my views there. I think this particular practice has to be checked. We have to do something different. Put the facts before the public, let them judge. If you want to say something, there is editorial page is there. Do write something over there. But don't mix and mingle your views in the news. But unfortunately, this is exactly what is happening. I try to read most of the newspapers here. And the same news is placed in differently before us. Very same news. Why this happens? Because we feel, the newspapers, that we have got right to tell everything, even my views, to the public, to the reader. You have, but you have a different page for that. You have a different space for that. Let this particular space be of the reader. He has to say something, if at all. He must understand. Let him decide whatever he wants to. But this is how we have to do. And the topic of this particular event, it's really a mega event, from 6 to 9 for 4 days continuously. 500 speakers, scholars, and all those will be coming here, guiding us, telling us. And the theme is currents of change. What are the currents of change? As Shri rightly put, change is constant. Everybody says so every time. But what does that mean? How do we come forth with that? What is that change and what is that constant? We have to look into ourselves for this. If you will just castigate and say that this person is talking something about Adhyatma, spirituality. No, not at all. I don't know. I don't know ABCD of Adhyatma. I don't know what is spirituality. And I never practice also. I don't know that. But what you people say, that itself is Adhyatma. That itself is a guiding force. That itself is a motivating force for us. So what is constant and what is change? Change is where we were, and from there, that particular point, we have traveled to this, is the change. Constant is our thought. We have our principles, our virtues. They do not change anywhere, anytime, any place. They are omnipresent over the globe. But change has to be accepted. Nowadays, this country, this great country of ours, that is India, we think of Vikasit Bharat, developed country. We had a time, we had an era where we were not even thinking of developing. We were not even underdeveloped. Whole world was looking at us. What sort of a nation you are? But now the time has changed. Now the thinking has changed. Now the practice has changed. And now we are looking forward for a Vikasit Bharat, developed India. By 2047, we have before us an aim, a lakshya. What is that lakshya? What is that goal? We have to be there as a developed nation. Whole world will be looking at us as a developed nation, Vikasit Bharat. By 2047, when we will be completing our 100 years of freedom, independence. I know that it was just a political freedom, political independence. Our country, our nation, our thinking all existed throughout the ages. But still, let us see, for the modern world, we will be completing 100 years in the year 2047. What are our aims and goals? My dear friends here, we all have to be a part of that. All have to be part of that. We just cannot remain aloof and say India will be developed. We cannot. We are a part of it. For few years, I was in Mumbai. It was called Bombay that time. Now it is a Mumbai. The original name has come. I was working there for some organization, and I met one person, a press person. He was news editor of Times of India's Marathi version, Maharashtra Times. He was news editor, and we were good friends. He was explaining me the freedom movement in the year 1942, when his father was there. He was just explaining what was the sentiments of the people, how the situation was charged, how the atmosphere was there. Everybody was just leaving aside everything, his studies, his profession, his families, everything. Come out on the streets and show our strength. Let us tell the Britishers that we are one here, we want freedom. And everybody was there. There was a place near Gowalia Tank in Mumbai, where whole things were happening. Azad Maidan, it is called today now. The Azad Maidan is there. So all things, all the people were gathering there, and everybody was on streets. My friend tells me that everybody was on streets, everybody has left everything. Students left their schools and colleges. Businessmen left their businesses. Professors left their colleges. Everybody was out. Everybody left their families. Everything. Houses, because we wanted freedom. The whole atmosphere was so charged for the independence. And my friend tells me, I asked my father, The father was explaining the very situation to my friend. He says, Beta, this was happening everywhere. So my friend asked his father, Baba, he used to call him Baba. Baba, tell me, everything was so charged, everybody was saying Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata ki Jai, and Britishers go back from here. Baba, tell me, where were you? On which street you were there? That Baba, the father, tells my friend, Beta, listen, I was just looking at whole scenario from the window of my house. I was just sitting inside. My friend said, Baba, I am ashamed of you. You should have been part of this movement. You should have come out on the streets and say Bharat Mata ki Jai. Instead, you chose to be there in the street, in your house, and just looking through the windows what is happening. I am ashamed of you. Our future generation should not tell us about this. They should not say that, Baba, Amma, we are ashamed of you. You did not join this changing movement. Today our country is marching ahead. Today we are thinking of change. We are thinking of Vikasit Bharat. Am I not a part of that movement? Am I not a part of that change? I think we have to be. Otherwise our children will ask us, Baba, where were you when the change was happening? Mama, where were you when the whole thing was changing? And Bharat was becoming Vikasit, developed. Where were you? You were just sitting inside your house, enjoying all the amenities you have. We must be proudly able to tell our new generation, we were the part of it. And we made the change. We made the change. That should be our thinking. That should be our thought process. That should be our aim and target. I hope this manthan, the churning which Mathrubhumi has started, should direct it in this way, should go in this way, and tell the country that we are a part of this change. This is exactly what we need. I am very much thankful for Mathrubhumi having organized such a wonderful function. They have said that this is the 6th edition. I hope many more years to come to give us some guidance, some thoughts, and so that our new generation will march ahead. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. नन्ही.